The Dark World, you're in the wrong world.
During the previous trial, we witnessed the words and actions of her community change Senua's inner world. With this swamp behind her, she approaches a tower that takes this concept and explores it further. Sometimes it doesn't take a chorus speaking at once to affect us. Sometimes a singular voice can drastically alter our perceptions. This can be for the better or for worse. While it cannot be avoided, it can be understood. This is the first of many lessons to be found here in the Trial of the Tower. Senua arrives at an island pier leading to the aforementioned tower. With rain pouring down in the half-collapsed structure, this territory feels lifeless. Sitting on an outcrop of rock is an upright face. Upon looking through it, the world changes. The tower is now intact, the sunlight is creating a warm, comforting glow. In this beautiful world, a new face is out on the island that shifts Senua's perspective back to the ruined world. The Trial of the Tower is a visual representation of the dualities found in life: light and darkness, joy and sorrow, and life and death. Before entering the trial, Druth begins a story about a god named Balder.
He was fair of feature, he spoke fair words, he gave fair judgments. Light shone from him. Only good things were told of him. Yet he was the first of the gods to die.
As Senua progresses up the tower, we will explore why a god of pure goodness and light was the first to experience the shadows of hell. Much of Hellblade is told through allegory and symbolism. By recognizing two primary symbols at the outset of this trial, the intended purpose makes far more sense. The tower is the world, or more specifically, how Senua perceives it. While the world is an objective thing, we all see different things based upon our perceptions. As the observer, she perceives the reality of the tower. This reality, however, changes based upon which mask she is looking through. By looking through the first mask, the world becomes beautiful. By looking through the second, it appears decayed. Each mask symbolizes one of her relationships. Let's examine each individually before proceeding. The mask, which creates a world of decay and darkness, represents Senua's connection with her father, Zimbel. His words and treatment of her make the world appear corrupted. He is a source of venom that causes her to perceive the tower as a ruined husk. Only sorrow, self-pity, and fear occupies her inner world. The Furies whisper destructive thoughts, taunting her and claiming she is pure darkness. Senua is repeating the destructive words of her father over and over within her mind. This place is how the world looks under his influence, ruined and lifeless, a tainted reflection of the tower. For most of her life, this is how she perceived the world, until she met a swordsman practicing below a great tree. The mask, which creates a world of beauty and light, represents Senua's connection with her love, Dillion. The clouds broke, and a divine sunlight illuminates the terrain. The tower is rebuilt to its former glory. The Furies whisper wondrous memories of affection, beauty, and life. An angelic chorus breaks through the former drone, like the sun breaking through the clouds. Even when the rest of the world is dark in our mind's eye, one person may help us see the hidden wonders that the world can provide.
The world once seemed so simple. Black and white. Darkness and light. Narrow dividing lines of our own making. Dillion taught her to see further. To peek through the cracks and see the worlds of color stretching away from the gloom. And Senua explored new paths into the unknown. Dillion undoes the curse.
With the dichotomy of these out of the way, let's take a look at the tower itself. Standing at its front gate, Senua focuses on the Fehu rune. Meaning cattle, this symbol represents wealth. In the classic mindset, wealth was not only about money, but also the feeling of overflowing with happiness, love, joy, luck, etc. It was considered to be something experienced in the soul, not something as simple as possessing gold. Words such as fortune and fortunate better describe this, as you can feel fortunate about things that have nothing to do with money. The reason it appears here may have to do with its relation to the mythical cow in Norse mythology, Adumbla. Druth mentions this cow earlier in the game and how it emerged into existence at the start of creation. There was a great blank space in reality named Ginnungagap, which had the fires of Muspelheim and the ice of Niflheim on both sides. The heat and the cold moved together in the blank space, causing the ice to melt and the first creatures to emerge forth, specifically Adumbla, the cow who nourished the first giant, Ymir, during these early times. Two aspects of the story relate to Senua's story. First is the merging of opposite forces. Ice and fire came together and formed the cattle where the Fehu rune takes its name. During the trial of the tower, Senua is unable to proceed if she remains in the light world or the dark world. Only by utilizing both forces is she able to ascend. In essence, by choosing to accept only the beautiful things in life, she would fear leaving that warm embrace and never climb. Conversely, by accepting only the horrible things in life, she doesn't have the strength to rise up. The second comparison is the nourishing aspect of Adumbla, and by extension, this rune. As the first creature to come into being, Ymir existed in a world that lacked everything. The cow Adumbla was able to provide sustenance, a motherly comfort needed in dark times. For Senua, she had existed in this dark version of the world due to a lifetime of abuse from her father. Her mind convinced that fear, shame, and grief were all that would exist for her. Along came Dillion, who became a stand-in for Adumbla in her life. He was able to enrich her soul, to be that light in the shadow. With the Fehu rune emblazoned on the front of the tower, this trial is giving a very specific message. With Dillion's death during the Northman raids, the world of light he helped her find fades as well. This is why in this trial, the vision of Dillion can only be seen in the dark world. Memories of him may exist along with the completed tower, but Senua's mind returns to dark thoughts when thinking of reclaiming him. Chasing him leads her up the tower, requiring her to accept and travel through both worlds. On the second floor, another rune gate is uncovered, showing Tiwaz, Manhaz, and Yuaz. During the swamp trial, we spoke of Yuaz, so let's begin with the other ones and circle back. Tiwaz is the rune for the god Tyr. By extension, its meaning takes on his characteristics. It refers to absolute justice with all self-deception stripped away, as well as the sacrifice needed to subdue chaos. Being a war god, he stood alongside Odin and Thor. However, while those desiring victory worshipped Odin and those invoking a defender worshipped Thor, what Tyr was worshipped for is largely lost to time. However, it is believed that Tyr was invoked for wisdom and knowing if you were truly on the correct side of a conflict. For this reason, Tyr is referred to as the guiding star, the North Star, or in Latin, Polaris. Manhaz is a rune meaning man, or more specifically, mankind. Manhaz covers the entirety of the human condition and consciousness. As such, a full discussion is not practical here, but there is a few aspects that tie into the duality of the tower. The first is its relationship to Odin's ravens, Hugin and Munin. Memory is human consciousness traveling back in time, while thought is the ability of the mind to look forward in time. Throughout the story, Senua focuses backwards on the death of Dillion and the trauma she suffered at Zimbal's hand. Even her primary goal of resurrecting her love is a way of reclaiming a good memory instead of finding a path forward. This brings us to the second aspect of the human condition: birth, life, and death. If there's one theme relevant throughout the entirety of this trial and Hellblade as a whole, it is accepting that death is a part of life.
We spend our lives searching for the meaning in life, and we ask the gods for guidance. But the truth to life is revealed when we can face death without fear. How can the gods understand us if they refuse to die themselves?
The myth Druth tells about Baldur here reflects this. How he had dreams every night of his death. How the gods feared for him. How his mother made everything swear never to kill him. How Loki set things in motion to ensure his death, and how the gods tried to get Hela to release him. and when this fails, they tie Loki down and torture him for causing the first death of a god. Even they feared death and fought against this natural part of life. Druth's final words cut deep, not just in regards to this myth, but to Senua's entire quest as well.
A reminder, perhaps, that if even gods must accept death, then so must we.
This brings us to the final rune, Uaz. It means the yew tree, and as an evergreen that has poisonous berries and needles, this tree represents both immortality and the mysteries of life and death. One lesson learned during the study of Uaz is that the fear of death is an inhibitor to human potential, the human potential that the Manhaz rune facilitates. In the end, this gate as a whole is telling Senua that death is a part of the human condition just as much as life, that sometimes sacrifice is necessary, that a choice stands before her: accept the death of those who came before and move forward in life, or continue to dwell in that dark world, trapped in her past with the memory of Dillion. The trial of the tower as a whole is trying to teach Senua the duality of existence, between good memories and bad ones, between light and darkness, life and death, and the past and the future. As part of Manhaz, of humankind, all of us are caught between these forces. By putting too much mental energy into either side of the scale, we become trapped in one form or another. Being trapped in the past makes us forget to move forward. Conversely, ignoring the past causes the wisdom of what came before to be lost. The tower is both destroyed and pristine at the same time. It is only where we choose to focus our mental energy that dictates how it appears. As soon as she passes through the final gate, Senua finds the memory of Dillion standing on the edge of a bridge. In order to reach him, she must balance upon a plank of wood, to move forward while not falling to one side or the other, lest she becomes lost beneath the waves. It is an apt image depicting this trial's purpose. Upon reaching him, the memory of Dillion falls below the darkened and stormy waves, going back into the depths of the unconscious. It is almost as though this place is trying to give her a message. Dillion's final words summarize what she must consider.
My own father was born blind. Doesn't have the faintest idea of what the night looks like. The word dark to him means as little as the word light. So someone is afraid of the dark. Should we fix them by taking away their sight? Would you give up the beautiful world that you, and only you, can see just to be rid of your nightmares? Or is this the price you pay for the gift you have?
Life consists of the good and the bad. The fear of the negative will inevitably corrupt the positive experience. By accepting both, one can truly experience life during their time here, a fortune that the Fehu rune describes. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please drop a like, as it really does help out the channel. If you would like updates on new uploads, feel free to subscribe or follow me on Twitter. Have a good day, and peace be with you all.